how to do business part-time and succeed. Over the years, over the decades, I've been privileged to I've helped a lot of people on their journey to wealth creation. And one of the major challenge that I see a lot of people face is we have a lot of people that are in business, that are doing, in a particular career or in a particular profession they are working, and they are not okay with their salary, they are not okay with their income, and they know that they should be doing something else to get extra income, but they just don't know how to go about it. And many of them are like, you know what, I'm busy, I have to be in the office, I'm busy, I have a lot of things I'm doing. In order to be able to grow in my career, I have to focus on my career, I have to do certification courses, I have to do this, I have to do that, and I know I should be doing business, but I just don't have the time. I don't have the time, and there's nobody to trust. It's better for me to just put my money in the bank. Let me just be seeing my money. So a lot of people go through all that stress, and some people have actually tried to do something by the side, what we call in Nigeria side hustle or whatever. So they want to do some side hustle, and they want to do some, side jobs and all this. And it's just a lot of challenge for a lot of people. So you find out that there is a wisdom to doing this, because sometimes a lot of people have done business full-time, they have failed. Some people have done business part-time, they have succeeded. So your ability to succeed in business is not necessarily a function of the funds you start with or what kind of business you run. Whether it's full-time or part-time, you can fail, you can succeed, depending on a lot of factors. And that's why I just felt that today we'll be able to look into this, because I want to see how I can help you to be able to break this down, so that those of you that are career people, you'll be able to know how to begin to navigate your way into succeeding in the things you do by the side. And we've also had stations where people have actually done side business, and they have entrusted it into the hands of people that have betrayed them. Or people have done some investments, and they have put money into some platforms that have ended up disappointing them. So you have a lot of people that have now come into a place of paranoia, where they are not even ready to invest in anything. They are not anything investment, anything that has to do with trusting other people. They are not interested. They would rather put their money in a zero interest account just to be seeing their bank balance, to satisfy their emotion and their mindset. But you need to understand that in the world that you and I live in, you cannot just settle for mediocrity, or settle for status quo, or settle for a level that is below the possibilities of God for your life. So let's begin by trying to understand what we mean by part-time business. When you say how to do business part-time, what exactly do we mean by part-time business? So let me state clearly that whatever you do for 60% and above of your time is not a part-time business. So if you are doing something, you are investing at least 60% of your time on something, that is a full-time job. So when you say something is full-time, anything you give 60% and above of your time and your attention to is full-time. That therefore means that when we are talking of a part-time business, we are talking of something that you don't really have time to even give too much attention to it, because you are probably busy doing something else as your primary source of income, or your primary job. So a part-time business therefore is any business, any venture that you get involved in that requires you to put just about 10 or 20% of your time into it. Because if you are doing full-time, you're spending 60% of your time in full-time, when are you going to rest? When are you going to be able to do other stuff? Because, for instance, we have people that do 2, 3, 4 jobs just because they are just trying to make ends meet, and at the end of the day, they still remain in poverty, because if all you are doing is earned income, it's not going to work, because for earned income, you have to work to earn a salary, and then your money is taxed even before it gets to your pocket, and you still have to keep going through that cycle. And that's why I'm one person that believes that people should consider, moving into entrepreneurship, and consider coming into a place where even if they are not entrepreneurs, they are investors. Because everybody cannot be an entrepreneur, but everybody must be an investor. And there is no way you can become rich and wealthy just earning salaries. So you need to add something else to that, and that's where investment comes in. So whatever you give 10 to 20% of your time too. That's what we are now calling part-time business. So whatever you do that is secondary to your primary job or your primary focus, that is what we call part-time. So that means you are working, you're probably a medical doctor. So as a medical doctor, you are doing your medical profession, and as someone that is a medical professional, that's your primary assignment. So you are virtually there most of your time, but you also have something by the side that you do. That thing you do by the side, that you give 10 to 20% of your attention to, that's what we call part-time business. You are a teacher, you are a pilot, you are an engineer, you work in the oil servicing industry, you work in the hospitality industry, you do all kinds of shifts, but at the end of the day, there are stuff that you also do by the side that you can put in your time into. Those are the things that we call part-time business. So having understood that part-time business is any venture or business or platform or stuff that you get involved in and you give between 10 to 20% of your time to, that's part-time business. So how then do you succeed in this part-time business? So I'm going to be sharing with you 10 principles, 10 guidelines, 10 wise counsel that will help you. In order for you to do business part-time and succeed, the first principle is you must draw up a realistic plan ahead. Draw up a realistic plan ahead. You know, many times in business, we have what we call the feasibility study, we have the business plan, we have all kinds of stuff that people talk about. And when people want to do business by the side, they don't mostly give attention to feasibility study and business plan. They just think, oh, that's not right. That's just a side hustle. No, even though it's a side hustle, even though it's just something you do part-time, even though it's something you do by the side, if you're going to succeed, then you need to plan it in advance. You need to sit down and have a strategic plan. You need to have a goal. You need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. So that is what I call the GPS. Now the GPS, Global Positioning System, the GPS helps you in your vehicle. That's what you use when you use the Google Map. The Google Map works with the GPS system. When you have a Google Map, a GPS system in your car, it can help direct you to wherever you need to get to. So if you are going to become successful, you also need to go through what I call the GPS. That's goals, plans, and strategy. So you need to have a goal in advance. So if, for instance, you're a medical doctor. Now, as a medical doctor, you go to work, and then you have to work Monday to Friday, sometimes Monday to Saturday. You work in the bank. You have to work Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, and you want to do something by the side. You want to open a chemist, a pharmaceutical store. You want to open a barbing salon. You want to open a supermarket. You can't be in the bank and at the same time be in the supermarket. You can't be in the hospital and at the same time be in the pharmacy store. So it therefore means that you need to sit down and have a plan to say, okay, I want to start this by the side. I'm going to start from my house. And I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do. The founder of Giddy Cakes, and he was sharing an amazing story of how he was working, the wife was working, and they realized that they needed to start, taking their cake and confectionery business serious, and then they had to get a staff, and the staff will resume in their house. So the staff will resume in their house by 8 a.m. They will have gone out very early. They will leave the key under the rug for the staff to pick up, and the staff will now start baking the cake and doing all the stuff. By the time the wife will come back, the wife will do all the, decoration and icing and all the stuff. Then by the next day, he will go and do the, as a marketer, he will go ahead and do the distribution and the supply. Now, that's a plan. So they were both working and they had that plan. When I was listening to that yesterday, I'm like, wow, this is what I'm going to preach tomorrow. These guys are already mentioned. So if you were not there yesterday, you can go to the church YouTube channel and go to the Facebook channel, CBC Nigeria on Facebook, and it's like 4 hours of amazing session. Yesterday was just something else. Those guys were amazing. They were just super. The question and answer was, it was just powerful. So go get it. So number one is to have a plan. You can't just wake up and say, I'm planning to start this chemist. No, sit down, have a plan. If you fail to plan, you have already planned to fail. Proper planning prevents poor performance. That's the first thing that needs to happen. Have a plan. Have a plan and then plan ahead. how you are going to handle all the different aspects of what you do, so that you will not be busy working and putting money into a business and somebody is swindling you, or somebody is just milking you because you are not available. Number 2, be ready to give quality mind attention to the business. You must be ready to give quality mind attention. Now, you have heard the phrase, mind your business. Mind your business. When you hear the phrase, mind your business, the real meaning of that word is put your heart to what is yours. Put your heart to what is yours. Even in the Bible says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be. So put your heart to what is yours. So mind your business. So give that business quality mind attention. So it therefore means that if you are doing business as a business person, you are doing business part-time, you are a surgeon, you are a pilot, you are a teacher, you work in the telecoms industry, you work in IT, you don't have the time, but you have set up a consulting business or a training business or a bakery or a transport business, and you've planned ahead, so you have a feasibility study, you've done your plan on how the business will run. The next thing that will help you to succeed is to give it quality mind attention, because if you don't mind your business, nobody will mind your business. If you don't mind your business, nobody will mind your business. So the mind is the gold mine from where you mine the gold that you need for your life. The head is the headquarters. So I used to tell people that in my family, there's no bald person in my family. If you know me, when I started out, my hair was full everywhere, but now bald head because of thinking, because the head is the headquarters. So you need to make sure that you give that business quality mind attention, so that you begin to mind the business. What that means is, even though you are working in an office, because you are mindful of your business, when you see a magazine and you see something that relates to your business, it will catch your attention. You'll be able to, when you are listening to the news or people are talking or just gisting around you, and you hear something that will help your business, you are able to catch it. You become like a sponge. You are able to catch a lot of things. Why? Because you are minding the business. When you are not minding the business, you walk through a billboard, you listen to an advert, it will not even resonate to you that this thing will help you, because you are not minding the business. It's later you now say, I think I've seen something like that before. That's true. I didn't think of that. Oh, the reason why you did not think of that is because you are not minding your business. So you need to give your business quality mind attention. Number 3, the third thing that will help you to succeed when it comes to this issue of doing business part-time is you need to consider doing it as a partnership or joint venture. You need to consider doing it as a partnership or joint venture. Now, I say to people most of the time that, it is better to have 50% of 1 billion than to have 100% of 10 million. Sometimes in the bid to try to own it all, we end up owning 0. And we end up becoming casualty because we don't want to lose control. But you need to understand that you get more done when you don't care who gets the credit. You achieve more if you don't care who takes the glory or who gets the credit. So collaboration, partnership, synergy is the language of the 21st century. So as an individual, if you are talking about doing business part-time, one thing that is very, very important for you to consider is consider partnership or joint venture, because you may not have the time, so you have the money, but you might need to partner with someone that has the time, so that the person will give their own time and manage the business while you will be the one putting in money. Because if you don't do that, sometimes it might not work. So you might need to consider that, okay, this business I want to do part-time. To me, it's part-time. Let me partner with someone that will do it full-time. So you are in it part-time as an investor, as a silent partner, but the other person is in it full-time. That's what they do, because you need to understand that there are people that have money without time. And there are people that have time without money. And there are people that have no time, no money. And there are people that have money and they also have time. So what you do in partnership in this dimension is, you have the money, you don't have the time. Look for someone that has the time and the expertise and the skill, but they don't have the money. And then let the two of you come together and collaborate in partnership, or you do it as a joint venture. So sometimes it can just be joint venture. Someone brings in this, you bring in this, you put it together, and the deal is done. So depending on the kind of business you're talking about, depending on the nature of the business, the nature of the industry, you might begin to explore the joint venture aspect. So number 4, allow your staff to have stake in the business. Allow your staff to have stake in the business. So when you are doing business part-time, the amazing thing I've seen is that a lot of people don't understand the concept of win-win. Win-win is a very, very powerful concept in life. I don't know if you remember the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. That book is an amazing book. I have an entire masterclass on that book. I've trained people with that book. That book is amazing. And one of the 7 laws or 7 principles there, or 7 habits of the highly effective people, is think win-win. Think win-win. When you are not thinking win-win, you're going to get into trouble. I remember I have a friend that runs an organization, and he's relocated out of the country where he was primarily. And then last year, he just called me out of the blues. I was like, guy, man, this person has left, this person has left, this person has left. So I told him, he said, you said it too. I said, but what do you expect? You have relocated, you left. So you would think that you will relocate, and people will see that just be running your business like that when there is no stake. It doesn't work like that. So many times when you are not thinking win-win, you will not consider your staff. Because the question is, so you expect that somebody will just be working for you for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they don't have any stake in the business. It doesn't work like that. So if you are doing business part-time, since you are not there, and people are going to be giving their life to helping you to build your business, then they should have a stake. So one of the major things that will help you to succeed in part-time business is to allow your staff to have stake in the business. When they have a stake in the business, it will work. We, in the real estate industry, we started introducing a lot of stuff, like, people getting, referral bonus, people getting commission, and that's changed the dynamics of the game in the real estate industry, because a lot of people were like, okay, why should I help you to sell land? So when we started out, I remember 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, we were just telling people, no, if you buy, if you get somebody to buy, we'll give you commission. It was strange. That, you mean for doing nothing, if I just bring somebody, you just pay? I say, yes, I'll pay you. And then there was even a time when we introduced upfront commission, where you bring people, and even though they are paying instrumentally, once they pay the first money, we'll pay you off your commission. And that was something that, because they had a stake. So if you want to do business part-time and succeed, the 4th thing you need to consider is to make sure that the people that are running the business for you, the staff, they have a stake. And that's why you need to begin to consider, target bonus, performance bonus, equity, and all those, and special, bonuses, so that they will know that, oh, we are not just here doing this stuff. We are here laboring. This man is not here full-time. This woman is not here full-time. But we know that we are not just here. And that's going to work. For instance, one of my mentees that came with the brother today, they came for a mentorship session here in the UK. And I was like, you were still in Nigeria in December. How did this one just happen? Now you are in London, you are doing this, everything. You say, this has happened. She was telling me how that she was working for, she's a medical doctor, but because I was like, you are just doing youth service now. Where did you just jump to London? And she said she was working for these medical laboratory people, and they have this little clinic that they were running, and then COVID came. And that since they were struggling. But immediately COVID came, she said the owner of the stuff just changed the clinic and everything into an isolation center. And that when the government could not accommodate people, that they were collecting 10 million. That because rich people were just coming to them, they were not willing to die. That they were collecting 10 million naira per person just to deposit 10 million to come to the isolation center, be on oxygen and all the stuff. She said, sir, my madam became a millionaire in 3 months. No, a billionaire in 3 months. That in 3 months, over 1 billion entered. I said, yeah. That's so when they were saying people were suffering in COVID, that they were making money, that the madam made so much money that she became a billionaire within months in 2020. And that they too were benefiting. That even as a staff, that she was able to gather almost 5 million as a staff. That so if as a staff we are making millions, that's how she was able to pay for her professional exam to come and write the exam in the UK. So she came to UK to write an exam, and as she was finishing the exam, they offered her a job. She wrote to the government to say, I came for my exam, they have offered me a job, and within 3 weeks they sent her documents. Now she has a residence, she has a work permit, and she's doing well. She's just here less than 4 months. She's doing amazingly well. So she came for a session today, and she was telling me that. So you find out that one of the things that helped her is the fact that when that woman was making money in COVID, the staff too were benefiting from it. So when you want to do business part-time and you are not going to be there fully, don't be using people. Think win-win. Nobody is there to just labor for you forever as if you are the only one that knows how to make money. They also have a family. They also have dreams. They also have aspiration. So when you think win-win, you will suddenly realize that there is enough to share. There is enough to go around. Everybody will be okay. But not that you work in the bank, or you're a medical doctor, or you work, you are a pilot, you are traveling around the world, you are doing well, and then you now open a supermarket, or you open a pharmacy store, or you open an hotel, and then you just expect people to just be working and no salary. You say, am I not paying them? Am I not paying them? No. Apart from paying them, when people are doing something for you and they are really, really producing results, then there should be something they will get for doing that. That is very, very important. Number 5, put quality control measures in place. Put quality control measures in place. Put quality control measures in place. For those that have listened to me for years, you know that I've told you over and over again all the different experiences I've had in business. The secret of great men is in their stories. When it comes to business, you'll be amazed. If you don't put quality control measures in place, people will defraud you. You will be shocked. For those of us that are Christians, because I'm a pastor, I'm an apostle in the marketplace, I do business, one way or the other, I can't separate myself from who I am. I'm a pastor. That's my core personality. That's who I am. That's the center of all I do. And because of that, I have a lot of people that work with me, work for me, work around me, that are also Christian. I'm like, these are my sons and daughters. So I took a lot of things for granted when I started business. So a lot of quality control measures were not put in place. And you have not been duped until the Christian dupes you. You have not been duped until a pastor dupes you in the name of the Lord. Then you will know dupey. And I was defrauded big time. At a point in time, in fact, I had one of my staff that took 11 million and collected 11 million from a customer. They were using it to do MMM. I had staff that were, using my receipt booklets. They were collecting money, paying into another account, writing receipts. I went through all kinds of stuff. In fact, till now, there are many things I'm still trying to settle that as a result of some of the things that I took for granted. Just thinking that, we are Christians. You'll be shocked. You see some people, they look like Holy Mary. But the kind of spirit that is at work in there, you'll be shocked. So you need to put quality control measures in place. Don't just trust blindly. Trust but verify. Investigate before you invest. So make sure you put quality control measures in place so that even if the devil wants to use somebody, it will be difficult for the devil to succeed. So that you make sure that you put quality control measures in place. It's very, very important. So quality control measures has to do with when it comes to even from the point of resumption. Because you'll be shocked. You are not there. Somebody may not even be in the office. I remember when we didn't know how powerful people are when it comes to the Ministry of Telling Lies until GSM came to Nigeria. And you'll be hearing somebody by your side say, no, I do Okoko now. And the person is in Abuja. I do Okoko, I'll be with you very soon. I'm on my way now. I'm almost there. And then you'll be shocked. Somebody will be calling you and you are saying, okay, how are you? Yeah, no. I'm on your streets now. I did the streets now. And the person is in a plane on the way out of the States. So it's very, very important for you to, make sure that you take that serious. So put quality control measures in place. Let there be, time, people clocking when they resume. There's movement charts so that people can, let you know where they are going to, what they have done. Let there be a worksheet where the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what have they done? When it comes to finances, you need to have, quality control measures. No cash, all money must be paid into the bank. Impress, all these things. So get the School of Money book. All these things are documented because of time. So get the School of Money book and make sure that all these measures are in place, because you'll be shocked too. I remember one of my staff said that she was sick and she took 3 days off. So she came to work on Monday, took time off. Monday, Tuesday, she was in the office, and she said she will come on Wednesday, but she will not come on Thursday and Friday, that she's not feeling fine. She's going to the hospital. And sometimes some people are just plain stupid. I'm telling you. Do you know what happened? This lady went for a wedding. The person that said she was sick, she was going for a wedding outside Lagos. And she was so daft that she was now posting it on social media. So she was supposed to be in the hospital. She posted it on social media and they were dancing. They were dancing and enjoying themselves on social media. And I'm asking myself, you are not thinking that you told us in the office that you are sick. You told us you are going to hospital, and now you are on the social media and you are dancing Azonto. It was in the days of Azonto. I say, I'm sick. Yeah, she was doing Azonto on social media. I said, what kind of human beings are these? So you need to understand that all these things are very, very important if you are going to become, all that you need to be. So we are looking at how to do business part-time and succeed. And I'm presently now on number 5. And we are going to number 10. Number 6, get current information about your field or your industry. Get current information about your field or your industry. What does that mean? If you are doing business part-time, you need to be current, because being current is the currency of life. Being current is the currency of life. So you need to be current. So make sure that even though the business is a part-time business, you need to subscribe to journals. You need to subscribe to journals. You need to, go online and follow all the professional bodies. So if you have professional bodies with reference to the book, make sure you get all the information you can about your field. Very, very important. So that you will be current, because sometimes what you think you need a lot of, staff, machineries, you may be shocked that there's a particular software or a particular program, a particular site, or a particular organization that can actually do everything for you and make things easy. So you need to note that, and it's going to be a very good help. Number 7, create seasons of full-time attention. Create seasons of full-time attention. Seasons of full-time attention. So what do I mean by that? Now, even though you are doing the business part-time, there are times when you need to be full-time. So what do I mean? So if you are working Monday to Friday, you can now decide to say, every Saturday, I'll be in my office. I'll be in the business, if it's a business that works on Saturday. So that means once a week, you are there full-time. Or you can now say, in the evening, when I close, twice a week, I will close from work and go there, depending on the kind of business. And then you can say, okay, when I'm on leave or during public holiday, you do, what do we call it? Full-time. So now this full-time attention, when we say full-time, so when you have like Easter now, so that means on Good Friday, you are in the office. Saturday, you are in the office. This Easter Monday too, you are there. Depending on the kind of business, if the business is open. And then when you are on leave, instead of going on leave, you use your 1 week leave, 2 weeks leave, 3 weeks leave to sit down with your business. Or when it's any other general holiday like Christmas period, when people have a long holiday, you go and sit down there. So what that means is that while the business is a part-time business to you, There are times when you give it full time. It can be once a week, once a month, 2 hours a week, or whatever. You go there, sit down there, and watch what's happening. Then, number 8, delegate and outsource some roles in that business. So if you are doing business part-time, there are some things you need to delegate and there are some things you need to outsource. E.g., I repeat, e.g., accounting. You can outsource the accounting of the business to an accounting company. So the accounting company can now go there, do the accounting, income, expenditure, and take stock and do all your, financial accounting, do bank reconciliation. They do all the accounting stuff for you, do the auditing. So you can outsource that. You can even outsource your marketing. You can outsource your PR. You can outsource your branding. You can outsource your storage. You can outsource production. So what that does is major aspects of your business is now in the hand of somebody else to help you handle, and then it will help you to become successful. So outsource some of the. Number 9 is don't starve or overstuff the business with money. Don't starve or overstuff the business with money. Sometimes, because you are doing business part-time, you starve it of money. When they say we need this, all the money I've given you people, and I'm not going to give you any money. All the money I give you, I'm not going to give you any money. I'm not going to give you any money. If you don't give them money to do what needs to be done, change what needs to be changed, upgrade what needs to be upgraded, you may end up stifling the business. And because you don't trust people and you are not there, you are not believing them, you are not giving them money, and then there's trouble. That's number 1. Number 2, sometimes you can overstuff the business. When you overstuff the business, that's another trouble. Because if you overstuff the business, you give them so much money and you are not there to monitor things, they can just be milking you. And then it will become like fikemba. When we were growing up and we used to do physics, chemistry, and biology, and we had people that would go to their family and go and collect money for textbook. And they say we should buy 3 textbooks. One is phi, one is chem, and one is ba. Phi, chem, ba. Somebody else will say the textbook is bio and law and G. We have bio, law, and G. So if you are one of such people, so before you know it, they will just tell you want to buy flushing and regassing, to flush and regas, and then you'll be collecting. They will just be deceiving you and collecting money from you. So you need to make sure that you don't do that. Then number 10, network powerfully. Network powerfully. Network powerfully. Networking is very powerful. You need the right people in your corner. So networking is being in the right network with people above you, network with people on the same level with you, network with people below you. So have the right mentors, have the right connection, be in the right tribe, and all these things will help you. So I think these 10 things are very, very important. So if you need more clarity, you can get the book, The School of Money. Good evening, sir. How do I manage my staff as someone doing business part-time? I've told you, once you have the staff, one thing that needs to be current is supervision. Another thing is regular training. So there has to be supervision, there have to be training, there have to be internal control that guides things, because even though you cannot micromanage them, you have to put systems and structures in place that will help you to be able to manage things. That's the way it works. And then just trust that as you train them, they will respond to training. And then make sure they're also compensated. Win-win. Opugo, Benga, can one do multiple part-time business while still receiving salary? Sometimes what you are calling multiple part-time business might just be multiple struggles. So it might just be multiple struggles. So it may be possible depending on what the part-time business you are talking about is. Because you can be working and then you have a transport that is doing transporting for you. That's part one business. You can also have a barbing salon. So it's possible, but we need to be careful so that we don't get into multiple struggles, thinking that we are doing I'm a student. How can I start business while schooling? Plenty. Business is all about what do people need. What do people need? If you have something they need, you give to them. So as a student, you can sell underwear. The people buy brassiere, they buy pants, they buy boxers, they buy singlets. As a student, you can have a barbering salon. You can have a photocopying center. As a student, you can do photography. As a student, there are many you can be selling books, selling notebooks, selling. So there are so many things you can do. Just look around you. What are the needs around you? Meet the needs of people. Solve problem. Offer value, and you're in business. I am KBAC. How can I start real estate business in Nigeria with little cash? Well, the best way to start with little cash is to start as a realtor. That means you are a marketer. You are selling for other people. That's the lowest entry point in real estate. You don't need money. So you can also contact us. Go to madibaglobal.com and download the brochure, the Madiba brochure, and then you can register as a Madiba realtor. I will train you, and then you'll be able to start selling for us and learn more about real estate. I'm interested in the beauty and salon business. How do I do that part-time? By partnering with someone. What partnership structure should I have? Well, if you want to do beauty salon, you can just build the place, beautify it, and sell table. So each barber will buy a seat. So you can have 4 seats, and they will buy the seat and be paying you monthly. So you don't really, it's their business. They are the owner of the table and chair. They will just be barbing in that table. So if you have 4 of that, let's assume they are paying 50,000 a month. You make 200 from there. Then you sell space. Manicure, we collect manicure and pedicure. You sell a space. Hairdressing salon, you do the mirror, you buy the machine, and then you give them. So they will be paying you for the space that they are using. And you will be the owner of the salon, but they will be the owner of the space. And then you will now have maybe like a manager that will manage everybody. And then you take care of the lights and the electricity and everything, and take care of maintaining the place, and they pay you. But if you need any other thing apart from that, then it goes into consulting, and they will send you an invoice. Because counseling is free, but consultancy attracts a fee.